Hi everyone, I'm Dan Hoost. I'm the Communications Director for Sullivan County Government. I am here with our County Clerk, Russell Reeves. We're actually in the Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, at the County Government Center in Monticello, which is why you probably hear some background noise going on. But we wanted you to sort of feel in the moment as we try to clear up some confusion about real ID versus passport versus enhanced ID versus a standard driver's license, and what you need to worry and what you don't need to worry about. So first off, Russell's going to tell us what's happening on May 7th. So what is it that is going on that everyone hears this May 7th deadline?
So the May 7th deadline is you will need a real or enhanced ID or a passport to fly. So there's a lot of confusion going on about this, so I'm trying to, with you, dispel some of the questions that people have.
Yeah, and there have been a lot.
And there's a tremendous amount of questions, and we did work on this for numerous press releases. Thank you for the help on that, to try to get the word out, but it's always hard, people are busy. So the main thing that I would like to say first is May 7th is a deadline if you're flying. If you're not flying and you don't have this license by May 7th, it does not affect your license. So you don't have to be nervous about getting here by the 7th if you're not traveling by air or if you're not leaving the country by land or sea. So there's multiple different choices that people have here.
Yeah, May 7th really is only if you're looking to fly within the next few weeks that needs to have some urgency. Otherwise, I mean, frankly, if you're never looking to fly, you could keep your standard driver's license, right? Not actually have to do anything.
That is correct.
Right.
That is correct. So there's a lot of misunderstanding. So a lot of people have their passport. That passport works for everything. It allows you to get into government buildings, it allows you to fly domestically, and it allows you to fly internationally. So that works for all those things.
Yeah, and you'd still need a passport if you were going to fly internationally, right? The Real ID is only for domestic flights, or does that work also for international flights?
No, the Real ID is just for flying domestically. It does not allow you to fly outside the country.
Right, so you'd still end up needing a passport.
If you're flying internationally.
But now I've been told that in New York State, you don't necessarily have to have a real ID, that the state offers an enhanced driver's license that would also be accepted at the airport for domestic flights?
The enhanced driver's license is a federal document, and what that is, any state that borders another country is another feature that you can get on your driver's license. So, in other words, if you're in New York State or California, but mainly we only concern ourselves with New York because we're the best state, of course.
Of course.
So in New York, you can also get an enhanced driver's license, which allows you to travel by land or sea borders, meaning you can go to Mexico if you want, or you can go to Canada, or you can get onto a cruise ship and use that enhanced to allow you onto the cruise ship, and most importantly, to allow you back into the country.
But also, if you're just looking to fly, say, from New York to LA, you can use the enhanced driver's license. You don't have to have a real ID to get on board the plane, right?
That is correct. An enhanced driver's license is also a real ID with an added feature.
Right.
So that's basically, it's everything the real does, allows you to fly domestically, plus the added feature, which is only available in those states that border another country.
Right. So if you want a real ID, would you recommend people look at the enhanced, or would you recommend that they look at the real ID?
If you know you're never going to leave the country, you never go to Canada, never go to Mexico, then you don't need the enhanced. If you think that might be something that you're going to have to travel to, then I would recommend the enhanced. The enhanced is you need a little more documentation for the enhanced. I need 2 staff members for every enhanced. So it's a little bit longer, a little more documentation. There's also a fee with the enhanced, where the real there is no fee.
Okay. It's been very busy, and I can tell that right now looking around the room, that it's been busier than usual, I think, at DMV because of this. It's appointment only. You cannot walk in to DMV and have this done, or just show up at mobile DMV and have this done. You need to make an appointment, correct?
That is correct. You have to make an appointment, especially we have such an onslaught. We have over 930 appointments for this month alone, which is a tremendous amount of appointments for my staff. They've been doing a great job. They're working very hard. The appointment is the best way we can do the process for getting all these licenses through without having people wait 3-4+ hours.
And if people need more information on what documents they need to provide, Is the state DMV website the place for them to go see? And we'll put that up on the screen.
The state DMV website is a place to go also. When you make the appointment for the enhanced, it will show on our appointment system, it'll show what you need, the basics. We can't include everything because there's hundreds of different scenarios.
Right.
But basically what you need is right there when you make your appointment. All you have to do is just go down the screen there and see what's required.
Okay.
The main documents is you need a birth certificate or a passport to show where your source document is, meaning where you were born, social security card, and proof of address. That's the simplified version.
Okay. And do people have to come to Monticello, or are there some mobile DMV locations that will be able to handle this?
There's 4 locations we have that you can make an appointment for also to do a full service Real ID or enhanced and full license transactions. We were able to expand that into our mobile unit, which has been very busy as well. Yes. So it's very successful. So there's 4 locations. That's up in Grahamsville, Liberty, Bloomingburg, and Jeffersonville is our 4 locations where we have full service. So the other locations, we just don't have the ability and the space to have it in every location yet, but we're working on that.
All right, so make sure if you make an appointment with mobile DMV that you're doing it in one of those locations, or you're making an appointment for here at the main office in Monticello. Is there anything else people should know?
Basically, we're doing our best to answer all the questions. We also you can email us our questions. The appointment system is working very well with the onslaught of people that we're having. So, and I'd also like to compliment my constituents of Sullivan County, because for the most part, they've been great. My staff has been great. So the process is going as well as can be expected for such a huge amount of people coming through a small office.
And again, we can remind you that unless you need to fly domestically within the next few weeks here in, say, May or June, you really don't need to be worrying right now about getting the Real ID. But if you do plan to fly anytime in the foreseeable future now, you will eventually either need the Real ID, a passport, or the enhanced driver's license just to be able to fly domestically.
That's correct. And if you have something that's planned, you have a trip that's planned or an emergency, and there's some reason that you have to get through the process, email us and let us know. And if there's anything we can do within humanly possible, we will do to try to get you that for an emergency situation, or if you have an itinerary that's already been booked.
I can vouch for that. Russell and his team are very accommodating as much as possible. So if an emergency situation does arrive, they usually can handle it with you. So thank you, Russell. Appreciate your time, and hopefully this has cleared up some of that confusion.
I hope so, and thank you very much for putting this together. We appreciate it.